Hello, hello. This is part 3 and the final episode of my dog portrait. Let me back out and show you where it is right now. You saw in part 2 that I blocked it in with the gold color. I did darken the bow. I can tell you, after looking at it for a while, not in love with the gold. So I could gray down the gold with the complement purple. Try that. I'm not sure, but I think the gold's too vibrant. Maybe you like it, I don't know, but I don't think so. Not too many other changes. We're going to look at it really, really good. Check the eyes. But the first thing I'm going to do is change that background color, because that'll change the feel of the whole thing, and we'll see what we want to do then. I'm trying to get you level. I've switched the canvas on the right and the image on the left, as you see. Stupid as it sounds, my neck was hurting and I thought that might be why. Who knows, right? I was going to show you something. Let me see if I can locate it here. Okay. I was going to show you a poster that I made up of pet portraits. Let me show you on here. We're on my Facebook page. And this isn't great because it's, but this is the poster, that one of the ones that I shared here recently. These are all paintings that I've done in the past of, that was a beautiful dog. Just all varieties. I've done goats. I had a guy that I painted all 4 of their goats. This one was cute. He was in a OU shirt. So all kinds of, and there are many, many, many more, but I just put those together as a sampling of what I do. All right, trying to get you back here on my painting here. I realize this is probably not the best angle, but all right, let's go back to our image. Here's the full image. I don't even know if I showed you that or not. That's the photo she sent me. And then when I cropped it in, I gave her a couple options, and she liked the headshot, which I'm kind of glad she chose the headshot too. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to mix up a yellow again, something like what we've got in the background, which isn't a pure yellow. It's a fairly warm yellow. Now, if you're not, if you don't paint a lot, I would suggest, if you're a beginner, that you start with a limited palette and stay with it for a very long time. A warm and cool of blue, yellow, and red, and white, because you can mix really any color from that palette. And the way you, like if you feel you've done a color and it's too saturated and too intense, the way you gray it and kill it, some people call it, is to use get you a color wheel and go across the color wheel and use the complement. And the complement to yellow is purple. So I'm going to mix up a little bit of a purple here and throw some in. And I could probably do a purple glaze over top of this if things were dry. So at this point, I'm trying to get more of a grade color. So I've mixed my yellow with purple, and now I'm putting some white in it. And we're looking at that, which at this point I've got a much warmer color. So I'm going to cool it Yeah, I say mix up your color and look at it. Decide, should it be lighter or darker or warmer or cooler? That's where you go. Yeah, I'm making a grayer color. And we're going to try to, and actually, I might try to wipe some of this gold off of here before we start. That way I'm not working into so much of it. Part of the reason I darkened the pink bow was after I got this gold on here, it didn't stand out enough. The value of the bow was too close to the value of the background, and I darkened the bow. So we may be pulling it the other way once we get some of this in. See, I've made a kind of neutral color. You know, and I'm the artist, and I do what I think works and what looks good, and then you take it to the client and keep your fingers crossed and hope that they like what you've done. But it is their painting, and you've got to make them happy, so you've got to be willing to change it if it's a commission. There's some things I won't do. I did a painting years ago, and she may be watching this, as you know. It was an ice cream shop, and cute painting. I think it had pink umbrellas, and she talked to me about painting her in it, this person that I know. And I didn't want to. I mean, I would have rather started new, and I didn't want to mess it up. You know, I felt pretty good about it, and you always risk that. Like when you go back and work on a painting, if you're lucky, I always say you improve it and bring it forward, but sometimes you ruin them. You know, but I don't say ruin them. You can always go back, but you mess them up. I say you paint them to death. Sometimes you do that too. You just pick at them so long that you no longer like them. So anyway, I did say no because I didn't want to ruin what I had. But you can't be so stubborn with a commission and say, I'm the artist, that was my vision, and of course you can't, or you won't get commissions. Going a little darker there, just to change it. I think in this this edge here should be a little cooler, I'm feeling like, because that's his back, and that's the furthest thing away from us. So that was another thought I had. You know, and with toning that down, then that area over there probably won't stand out as much either. And sometimes take a photo before you dive in. Sometimes I actually will take notes. I'll look at a painting, set it in front of me, and make a list of the things that I feel like I want to work on. Maybe you do that too. So that's I mean, it still has a kind of a gold feel to it, but it's much more subtle and more grayed. Not so bright and intense. The color behind the dog was really bright. And something you can do sometimes too is take color from the object and put it in the background, and color from the background and put it into the, like, let's try a little bit of this kind of gold color into the dog. It kind of makes him more part of the background. Someplace, you know, you think the color might be reflecting into him. Just little bits of it, you know. I think that's better. And now I feel like I can come back on that bow a little bit. Like I said, I just didn't like it against the yellow, and it wasn't dark enough. There's quite a bit of paint on here, so I'm going to wipe it back a little bit. And I'm going to mix up something a little softer, I think. I assumed they really liked that bow, or they wouldn't have wanted it in there. I said I painted dogs with shirts on, and oh, this is funny. I did one time where the dog had a jar of peanut butter hanging out of his mouth. They were like, that's his favorite toy. Well, I'm sure he loves that. So it came out really cute, though. They were very happy with it. It was fun to do. You can't even see what I'm doing there, can you? See, if it was up to me, I wouldn't include the bow because I don't know, I just wouldn't. I think it's a little distracting, and this dark center kind of pulls your eye up and off. And when they see it, they may not want it, and then we'd be taking it out. Get a little more light into the tongue. All right. I got a chuckle today on the way to, I walk every day and I go to the community center. And I'm in the car. I like music. And I've got some radio station on. And you may or may not be familiar with this song, Savage Love. I'm sure all the young people are. I hear it a lot on TikTok, and it came on, and I'm enjoying it and singing part of it. And I'm at a traffic light, and I look up at the car in front of me, and I can see the reflection of the lady in her rear view mirror. And I felt like she was quite a bit older than me. It's hard to judge. Anyway, I could tell she was singing to it too. You know, she was mouthing the words at the same time. I just thought that was pretty funny. Good for her, right? Enjoying life. Putting a few more of those blues back in that explain things. Like that's the edge of the ear. odd little shape on his cheek there. It's there though, kind of a U shape. All right, let me think what else. Wanted to run that, okay, this needs to be a little brighter. It's a pretty big brush. Okay, this value, let me squint, might be a little dark right there under the eye. Okay, let's get our little tiny brush out and see if we need to do any more work to the eyes. I'm going to zoom in and bring them up so they're about the size of trying to look very closely for anything I think I've missed. I think again they shot this dog with a flash. Not the best way to shoot them, because this in the left eye it looks almost circular, kind of that way here too. If you're shooting photos for I almost always turn my flash off. I find I rarely need it. And if you're shooting them for someone to paint them, and you can do that, It's probably better. His ear kind of flips out, and I think that's cute. I'm kind of trying to get that in here. And I'm going to leave the legs out, as I mentioned, for now, and let them decide. See what they think. I had them in, I had them out, you know. And of course I have to paint the edges. I'm not going to bore you with that. I mentioned to you I was thinking about signing it up there above the leg. I think that's what we'll do. Let me see, think real hard about that. If I do it down here, it's almost going to get cut off in a frame. I could do it under the leg here. I think we'll do it here like I said. Nope, I want to take it out. I'm very picky, I know. It's just, I can do a really nice signature and I want it to look really good, especially if it's going to be up there. Okay, is there anything else? Today's been a short one. I assume you saw the first two parts if you're here. And if you're on TikTok, I going to go live soon. Maybe Saturday. I'm thinking maybe, not sure. I'm probably not going to announce it. I'll probably just sneak in the first time and see how it goes. I'm gonna quit and I'll get off here and I'm gonna maybe paint the edges and I think it's done, but maybe not. There it is. There's glare, of course you're seeing, which shows some of the canvas tooth. I think I like the background better now that I grayed it. All right, like I said, I'll go back to looking at it now, and heck, there could be a lot more changes, but I won't bore you with those. I put you through enough. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.